Hello everyone, welcome to the IndieGeekGuy channel. Hope you're well. Welcome back to Hannibal. Last time on Hannibal we had the fight of the century, killer versus killer, Hannibal versus Tobias. He used a weird little string thing to go but it was all a big metaphor for Hannibal having to fight a part of himself, and he was dealing with the idea of putting Will in harm's way, and then was happy. Then Will walked through the door and he lit up like a Christmas tree. He was so happy that that man was still alive. Oh, and there was stuff about turning people into musical instruments, and that wasn't grim at all. We're slowly getting to see more about Hannibal's personality and what drives him and what concerns him and all that stuff. Will is starting to lose his mind just a little bit. He's sort of acting out of pendulum mode as well now. Like he's starting to say things that are a little bit concerning. It seems to be coming to the forefront of his mind rather than just the mental exercise, as he puts it in the episode. It seems to be having a larger effect on him. So I guess we'll see where that's heading. We haven't seen Abigail in a while, so I'm wondering what's happening with that. I assume there's still more to come along that plot thread, so there's that. And then we have Lana Bloom still just trying to keep things together, keep everything together. Everyone, let's just be smart, let's be safe. So yeah, I'm excited to keep going on the journey, see where they take us next, what dark corners of this world we're going to go visit now. By the way, if you do hear some drilling and some cutting and stuff, there is some work going on in my building, and yeah, unfortunately, that's just the boat we're all sailing in. You might not be able to hear it, but I definitely can. But before we jump into this next episode, please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the reaction and the review of the episode that happens afterwards. Also consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos, get notified, all that good stuff. There are social links down below, including the Discord server and my Twitch channel. We stream over there on the weekends, and we're trying to get like a Star Wars day of various different Star Wars games and just talking about Star Wars on Tuesday, so head over there if you're interested in that. But that's it. That's all our preamble. Let's jump into this next episode, see what delights it has for us. Let's do it. Well, hello, Jack. Looking very dapper today. So this is what you got dressed up for? Fucking Jesus, the amount of effort that's gone into this. I can't help but be impressed.
Okay, everybody, let's go. Let's clear the scene.
Yeah, just imagine this for a bit, Will. Can we imagine what it takes for someone to put this amount of effort in? Make a body statue, why not?
Our latest victim, I saved for last. I want him to watch me work.
I mean, if you're putting that amount of effort in, you know, you want someone to watch, I guess. Teleported somewhere else. What happened?
No, I'm not abused.
You have an empathy disorder. What you feel is overwhelming you.
I know.
Yet you choose to ignore it. That's the abuse I'm referring to.
I saved lives.
And that feels good.
Generally speaking, yeah.
I'm your friend, Will. I don't care about the lives you save. I care about your life. And your life is separated.
He actually called him his friend. He actually said it out loud.
I'm worried about you, Will. You empathize so completely with the killers Jack Crawford has your mind wrapped around that you lose yourself to them.
I mean, we knew this a long time ago, but thank you for helping out here, Hannibal. Wow, Hannibal just walked into this episode with an instant desire to protect Will. He just walked in like, I'm not having this. I'm not having it.
I wish he was still alive so I could ask him what was so wrong with me that he wanted to kill.
He should have. He should have killed you.
Oh, God. Oh, God, Abigail.
So I seem fine to you?
Is there something you want to tell me?
No.
Maybe you should tell him, Will. Maybe you should actually, like, tell Jack that you are not good.
Is there a problem, Will?
Everything's fine.
Come on, Jack. Come on. Realize. Wake up. Come on. See what's happening in front of you.
You can make your own money. How much would I get if you wrote a book about me?
Oh, God.
About my dad?
Freddy emotionally manipulating. Look, as long as she does a good job of it and doesn't fuck Abigail in the process, then maybe it's fine. But I don't trust Freddy not to do that in order to make a better story.
Joel Summers, killed with a single stab to the heart, atop a display of all the previous victims. This killer's design was to remain unnoticed, a ghost.
He wanted to be a ninja killer. Then he wanted to boast about it. He couldn't hold it in anymore. Interesting sound design on that scene.
I don't want to interrupt if
well.
you're rehearsing.
No one in the room. Oh my god. Will, don't make me more anxious than I already am.
I regretted leaving your house the other night.
Is this real? Is anything real anymore?
I can't just have an affair with you. It would be reckless. It's because I think you're unstable. And until that changes, I can only be your friend.
Fair enough, I would say, William.
Do you feel unstable?
Say, yes, you just had an imaginary classroom. Can Will just go on a vacation, please? Can he, go get some sun? Or cold, if that's his thing.
You are important, Abigail.
Just because you killed my dad doesn't mean you get to be him.
Yikes.
Through a traumatic event.
Yikes.
But if you open this door, Abigail, you won't control what comes through.
This is true. This is true. If you put yourself out there, you put yourself out there for scrutiny. And also Hannibal's got the double meaning of he helped her murder someone. Well, self-defense.
This lowest body on the pole will be our killer's beginning.
Fletcher Marshall, murdered in 1973, beaten to death right in Grafton.
73, god damn. This has been going on a while. We'll talk about a long play, Jesus.
Nicholas Boyle turned up in Minnesota, dead. They can't tell if he died a week ago, 6 weeks ago, or the night that he disappeared.
How did he die?
Well, that's concerning for you, isn't it, Hannibal?
Knife wound he was got.
Who found the body? Who dug it up?
My instincts tell me that Abigail has answers that we have not heard.
What are the questions?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Let's start.
He's not wrong.
Miss Hobbs, I want you to look at this man.
Yeah, well, peel off the bandage lightly, won't you, Jack?
This man, Nicholas Boyle, was gutted with a hunting knife. You knew how to do that. Your father taught you.
Jack, I won't be party to this.
Then you can leave.
Fucking Jack going ham right now, fuck.
And you know nothing about his death.
I know he tried to kill me. I was gonna die in that house after all. But I didn't. I survived.
That's not a no. That's not a no. Oh god, this is so fucking frustrating. In a good way, in that Jack's not wrong. But his ham-fisted, reckless way of trying to deal with it is maybe not the best thing. Things are starting to tear at the seams, aren't they? It's coming. It's fucking coming, everyone.
I'm not afraid of them finding Nicholas Boyle anymore. He's been found.
You betrayed my trust. You jeopardized my life as well as your own. I deserve more than that.
Yeah, Hannibal's not the right person to be pissing off. I know he has this paternal thing going on with you, but he will remove you if he thinks he has to. It's fucking Lance Henriksen. It's fucking Lance Henriksen.
Why is that? You're confessing to the murder of Joel Summers.
And Fletcher Marshall, I killed Joel Summers because he was never meant to be. Prison is going to be a luxury next to the kind of retirement home I can afford.
God damn.
And I certainly
God damn.
I'm securing my legacy.
He was your son, Joel Summers.
What?
Eleanor chose to raise him as Fletcher Marshall's child rather than yours.
Will's so pissed off at Lance Henriksen.
You didn't secure your legacy, Mr. Wells. You murdered it.
In fact, your one act as a father was to destroy your son.
Yikes. Well, they just fucking brought Lance Henriksen in to fucking have a go at him. Rightly so. Rightly so. That murderer couldn't have fucked up more than if he tried. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it, Will. Yep. I mean, at least he might see that it was self-defense, and then he's gonna find out, why didn't you just be honest about it? And then it will lead it back to Hannibal, and it's gonna be a whole fucking thing.
Abigail Hobbs killed Nick Boyle.
I helped her dispose of the body.
Okay, well, he's being honest about it, I guess.
Well, now you know the truth. Nicholas Boyle attacked us. Abigail's only crime was to defend herself, and I lied about it. Jack Crawford would hang her for what her father's done. And the world would burn Abigail in his place. That would be the story.
There's probably truth in that.
We are her fathers now. We have to serve her better than Garrett Jacob Hobbs.
Man, Hannibal's just laying things out this episode. He's just like, no more pretense. This is how it is, Will.
Do I need to call my lawyer, Will?
This is going to be the telling point. He knows he's got Will wrapped around his finger as well now. At least for the time being.
This book is about her innocence. I want Abigail to have a future.
That's what we all want.
Well, we all want what's best for Abigail.
Hopefully that is the case. Abigail's really just been caught up in the machine, huh? All the games, all these other people.
Will knows, doesn't he?
Ugh.
I knew what my father was. I knew what he did. I knew. Found out where they lived. Where they were going when they'd be alone.
But were you doing it because your dad was like, I'm gonna kill you if I don't find people to kill?
I wondered when you would tell me.
Of course he fucking knew the whole time. He can see it. He can see these things in people.
I know what monsters are. You're a victim.
Well, okay, at least that's cleared up for us now. We know the truth of that, I guess. Well, at least the version of it she's said out loud.
I hate traveling by myself.
I love it.
Where are you going? Home for the weekend.
You fucking creep. Oh, I'm so happy he's dead. So happy. Although his lasting abuse lives on through Abigail, which is just dandy. Okay, that was an interesting episode because now I don't know if I can trust literally anything Will is seeing. If it's told from his point of view, if it's just him in a room with one person, multiple people, I don't know what's real anymore because he doesn't know what's real anymore. Yeah, we weren't messing around when it was setting up how far down the rabbit hole he was falling, were we? I will say that scene when he was talking to the class, there was the interesting sound design in that episode. That scene when it had like the sound of the ocean sort of swashing over it whilst he was talking. So I assume that is the audio-visual way of letting the audience know that this is the hallucination. But we are picking back up on the relationship between Alana and him. Like she's a bit like, I want this, but I don't want this, and at least she was honest with him. Like, if we can find a way to settle your mind, then maybe this can be a thing. But right now, you need to sort yourself out, which, fair enough, makes sense. You got to do what you got to do. But I am concerned about future episodes in terms of what, like, just like I say, that being able to trust Will's POV of any given situation going forward. I feel like we're just going to get more and more abstract with it as the episodes go on. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be real fun trying to read those scenes and what's real, what's being a metaphor for something else, or what's just trauma, just layering on top of him, all that good stuff. Abigail returns in this episode. She finally admitted, said out loud that she was knowingly helping her father, but crucially, it's still from a point of being a victim. It's still, she was told by her father, look, you don't find me some girls, I will kill you. I will actually kill you. And that's like fucked. Like, I mean, there was always that thing in my head that maybe she is part of it in a way, or maybe she isn't. It's hard to really tell, and I think the show did a really good job of like balancing that line of what the actual truth of the situation was until it was ready to just play its hand in this episode and say, yep, she knew, but it's still sort of expertly done in the sense that you already feel like in her corner about the whole situation, because you're seeing her as a victim, because she is a victim. I feel like they kind of maybe rightly decided not to reveal that she was helping her father early on, because maybe as an audience member you might have a slightly more blurred idea of what if she was a victim or not, which, I mean, at the moment as the show's going forward, it's clearly sort of painting that picture that she was always a victim and that it's going to be a difficult way for her to find a normal life, or it was going to be difficult for her to prove that she was a victim of those circumstances. So yeah, I think it was a smart choice to build up the character so you feel like you're in her corner based on everything you know up to that point, and then when she finally breaks down and admits the truth, you're still like, this was so shit. Her life was just awful. And yeah, I just think it was smart to build up the character before getting to that reveal point. And obviously Hannibal knew the entire time, because we've been setting up Hannibal can just read other people who are sort of involved in that kind of life. He instantly knows if they're doing it from a like a malice place, like with Tobias, like it was literally his own like self who enjoys the killing and the showmanship of it and all of that side of it. And maybe there's an element of Hannibal seeing the part of, like, this is still doing guesswork in terms of what the past or Hannibal's childhood and stuff was like in terms of what they're doing with this TV show. But from what I loosely remember, he had a kind of traumatized childhood, and maybe Abigail's meant to represent the victim side of Hannibal, and that's how he can see that in her and relate to that. Although it must be said, it seems like we are sort of pushing this, like it might come down to a choice for Hannibal in terms of who is he going to protect. Is he going to throw Abigail under the bus? Is he going to throw Will under the bus at some point in order to save the other and himself? And, you know, it definitely feels like we're pushing towards a situation where someone is going to be put in the firing line. It feels like Hannibal, because, you know, the show is called Hannibal. He is the titular character. Hannibal's going to have to make a play in order to save himself or one of the characters he cares about. And I feel like that's where we're eventually going. And the other thing with Hannibal in this episode, we got some very forthright answers directly from his mouth, which was different. Like, he openly just called Will his friend. Like, I think that's the first time he said that out loud, and just various other bits of information. He was like, I care about you, I want to protect you, you're my friend, like all of this stuff. He was just very open and overt about all of these things, which previously he's been sheltered behind the walls, and clearly, you know, Will has let himself in. In this point in time, I am thinking if it comes down to a choice of do I protect Will or Abigail, I'm leaning towards him protecting Will. But that could change. That could all change. We'll have to see where that goes, I guess. It definitely seemed to be setting up at least that Hannibal's growing anger at Jack for putting Will through this, like continually pushing him, even though he's clearly not in the right state of mind to be doing it. And also now we've got the element of Jack putting Abigail in a traumatizing situation of making her relive things. And, you know, the thing is, this is the fascinating thing about the show, is that Hannibal's the bad guy. Hannibal is the villain of the piece. But you kind of find yourself on his side in terms of how Jack is treating Abigail. Even though Jack is right, like, Jack knows what the situation is. He just needs to find a way of proving it and to get the information. But you're kind of scared what he's going to do with that information, because obviously now I assume most of the audience see Abigail as the victim of this situation. If Jack finds out the truth of this, probably not going to see it that way. He's probably just going to see her as, you know, an accessory or whatever the situation may be, whatever he'd push for. Worrying, anxiety building, because although he's right and your sense of justice, I suppose, is being challenged and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's getting tense out here. We had a little cameo from Lance Henriksen in this episode. Was not expecting that, for him to just come in at the end and be like this old bitter man who just enjoyed killing people and being a ghost ninja boy, and then being revealed, no, you actually killed your son because you're a fucking dummy. That was just, I don't know. I mean, it was an interesting little beat. It was making an interesting point, I have to say, about, I mean, this is obviously a commentate on America and how if you don't have enough money when you're getting into your old age, you're fucked. And so this murderer took it upon himself to declare himself because he felt he would have a better retirement in prison than like being able to get a retirement home, or he doesn't have anyone else to look after him, or all that stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, he's a murderer. He should be going to prison no matter what. But it was certainly commentating on how the economics of getting old works in America, at least at this time when this was being filmed. I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert on that. I'm not in or live in America, so I wouldn't really know the details of it, but it definitely felt like it was saying something about that. But there was a big theme in this episode about legacy, how stories are told from a point of view. So obviously we had our killer Lance Henriksen wanting to tell his story through his totem pole beginning to end, and obviously that blew up in his face. But then we also had Abigail wanting to tell her side of the story through Freddy, which has me concerned. I don't know where that's going to go. I don't trust Freddy as the person to tell that story, purely because we know Freddy can twist things to make a story that she thinks will make more money, or whatever the case may be. Like, she will find an angle that isn't necessarily the truth, but you could apply it in such a way where it feels like the truth in order, in her opinion, to make a better selling story. And then obviously with the reveal of Abigail saying, this is the truth, I was a party to my father's murderers, even though I was also a victim of it in my own way, she is desperate just for people to know that that is the case, that she was a victim of all these things that were happening. And she's a kid, you know, her father is torturing her mentally, and it's, you know, how would a kid fight against that? And obviously the thing is that if that ever came out, you'd have a bunch of people saying, well, she could have gone to the police, she could have done this, she could have done that. And that's what Hannibal and, well, mainly Hannibal, because he knows the whole truth, but Will as well, I guess, is, look, if you open yourself up to this, you're going to be criticized. People are going to have their say and their opinion. And, you know, again, it's a theme of telling a legacy, telling a story, and opening that up to interpretation from the people you are telling it to, and them having their opinion about it. And when you've got Freddy telling that story, that's concerning. If it ever got discovered that she'd lied about all that, like, that wouldn't be good. Like, that would make her look even worse in the public eye. So it's a tricky situation. This show has done a very good job of building this very tricky situation and making it feel real. They want to prove their innocence, but the situation is more complicated than what it would appear to be from an outsider looking in, and the show is doing a good job of demonstrating that. Other little interesting things I caught was obviously when Will came to confront Hannibal about the whole thing, saying that he figured it out. He went and looked at the body and, you know, did his pendulum thing and got, oh, it was Abigail, but she did it in self-defense. But obviously this means there's more to this picture and Hannibal was involved, and then he goes and confronts him about it. Interesting that Hannibal kind of goes for the scalpel, but then quickly sort of hesitates and sort of realizes maybe he can talk him down. And, you know, it does feel like in that moment that Hannibal has Will in his pocket a little bit. Like, it felt like, I've got him. I got him, boys. I've got him wrapped around. He's on Team Hannibal right now because of this. It's that weird thing of, where is the line? Where is he looking for genuine friendship with Will versus when is he manipulating Will in order to suit his own purposes? But it does feel like the old Hannibal would have just straight up killed him and done what he had to do. Like it does feel like in his own weird, warped way, he's like, I don't want to kill him. He's my friend. So I guess I'll try and talk him around this somehow, and it works out for him, at least for now. I just can't help but think we're heading for an explosion. Like, this is definitely heading towards blowing up in someone's face. I'm assuming Jack will find out the truth, and then Hannibal's hand will be forced to do something drastic to stop that. That's my current brain path on this whole situation. But we'll see. Maybe the show will pull the rug underneath me once again, and it will go in a completely different direction. But no, I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed the idea of exploring legacy and storytelling and putting it through the filter of how would other people read that, and versus the person trying to tell the story. It's a very similar theme to what happened in Black Sails, like the idea of telling your truth and turning it into a story, and how you make that work for you, especially if you're trying to make a point so people stop looking at you in a certain light. It's an interesting theme. This episode did a good old stab at doing that. I think it's something that will probably continue with Abigail's storyline going forward, especially now we've established that we're doing it. Freddy's going to help her write a book, and it's going to be a thing, so just going to have to see how that plays out, I guess. Builds up the anxiety and the tension in my bones, just as you'd expect, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for that explosion, because it's coming. It's probably going to be the last episode. That would make sense for your season finale, to do something that's going to throw everyone about the place and leave things in a interesting place. So we're getting there. We're nearly there. We're nearly come to the end of the first season, so looking forward to that. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please press the thumbs up button. It helps me know you liked it. It helps it get seen by more people. Also, consider subscribing so you can support the channel that way. Social links down below. Discord, Twitch. Make sure you're going over there and following, and we can hang out in the live chat and talk about stuff there. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one.